Hello, everyone. You are in the right place. We'll take a minute or two to let everyone get loaded. I always love saying that, and every time I say it, I was like, it is the sip.
Yeah.
So you can take loaded however you would like. We don't judge. Bobby and Dana, did you get the notes last night, or did yours get put in
Yeah,
junk too?
yeah, no, I got it.
Yeah, I don't know. I looked in junk and clutter and everywhere before I reached out, Jody, and I went back. And so I'm like, I don't know what happened. But then this
I
morning it was in clutter.
I think you have like the automatic eject button to any emails coming from me.
I hope not. Coming from you, they're important. I think I need to add you into my contacts.
Sarah, you can drink whatever you like. I actually this is I kind of make fun of myself. Siri thinks I'm talking to her. Um, I kind of make fun of myself because I usually don't have anything to sip during the sip. Like so bad that Ashlyn once had DoorDash bring me something to drink because I don't get up from my desk from early in the morning. But today I actually ran out and I have a nice Starbucks hot vanilla latte with oat milk. It's quite delicious.
Mm.
No bourbon in it yet either, Sarah. All right, it looks like the people coming in has slowed, so we will go ahead and get started. So, welcome back to the SIP, everyone. This is where conversation sparks connection, collaboration inspires innovation, and the industry leaders tackle today's biggest challenges. Think of it as catching up over coffee or an adult beverage, only with insights that move our industry forward. At TMC, we are passionate about empowering our members to thrive, and today's show features real world strategies and perspectives that only come from working together. Today's episode is proudly sponsored by Usherpa. If you are not already familiar with what Usherpa does for loan officers and mortgage companies, you're about to be informed. And Chris Harrington, the co founder and CEO of Usherpa, is here with us today. Chris, welcome to the SIP. Tell us a little bit
Oh,
about you and Usherpa.
yeah, thanks. Thanks, Jody. Thanks for having me. Yeah, I like to say we're the OGs in the mortgage CRM space. Yeah, definitely the original gangsters. We've been doing this since 1995, definitely dating myself. A little bit of a conversation Bobby and I had yesterday. But we actually come from the field, and it was really came out of our need as being originators and not wanting to just reinvent the wheel every single month, myself and the founder. So we came up with this idea. And, I think because we walk today in loan officers' shoes, we have a really good idea of how they work, what they will do, and what they won't do. And we also know automation and simplification is really a key. It was a key in 95, and it's still a key now in 2026.
The definition just has different meanings today as we evolve. Joining Chris
Absolutely.
today is Bobby Palmer, the VP of Marketing at Byte. And for anyone not familiar, Byte is a modern loan origination system built to give lenders the flexibility and responsiveness that big enterprise platforms often cannot. Bobby, welcome.
What's up,
Same
guys?
thing. Tell us a little bit about yourself and Byte.
A little bit about myself and Byte. So I've been in the mortgage industry for over 20 years now, which is crazy to think about. Before I came to Byte, I was always on the lender side, so did marketing for both retail and wholesale before coming here. So, where we used systems like Usherpa, right? We'd always find and look at all the different CRM systems that were out there, so somewhat familiar with that as well. And for Byte, been around. We celebrated 40 years last year, actually. So Byte's been
Wow.
around the block a little bit, and we're excited. We just released our new next generation LOS platform called Byte Web, which we demoed a little bit at the TMC conference a couple weeks ago for those of you that were there. And yeah, really exciting time here at Byte. So yeah, that's a little bit about us.
Awesome. Welcome. And our third guest today is someone I'm really excited to introduce the audience to because not enough people in the industry know Loan People. Dana Lehman is the CMO of Loan People. And Dana, I think that this is about to change. So, welcome to the SIP. We're happy to have you.
Hi. Well,
Woo!
thanks for having me. I usually make my husband Max do these things, so this is one of my first times doing something like this with you guys. Although I've known,
I hope he's tuned in.
yeah,
Yeah, he
hopefully
better
not.
be.
Hopefully not. Yeah, so I've been doing this, I guess over 15 years in the mortgage industry. I'm the CMO at Loan People. We're an IMB headquartered in Texas. We serve, I think, 20 states at this point and growing. They're rolling them out every day, it seems like. We have 125 employees. We're a Scotsman Guide top lender. This month we just got National Mortgage News top workplace, which was exciting.
Congrats.
Yeah, and like most IMBs, we're really relationship focused. So most of our referral sources are repeat clients, real estate agents, builders, online referrals. Yeah, so that's who we are.
So you've had been on a significant growth trajectory, obviously by being ranked in Scotsman's Guide as one of the growing lenders. And when we did our prep call, you talked about loan officers that are with you are seeing 30 to even 125% growth in their business year over year. In this market, that's not a small thing. So, what's behind all of this, and how did you get to the point where you could grow?
Yeah. I feel like we could all see that, 2026 was going to be a huge opportunity. And we really spent 2025 investing more than anything in automation and scalability, right people, right seats, but really focused on the originators that we do have, and how to grow their business. We've always kind of believed in if we build it, they will come. And really just focused on how do we get people top of mind with their existing database? How do we make it easy to create relationships with new people? I've always believed if marketing is easy, it gets done. And I know that that's something both Chris and Bobby share as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep, definitely.
Absolutely. Will you dive a little bit into kind of that building the infrastructure to the point of which you decided, okay, now's the time that we're really going to go after growth and talk through that process because I think that that is an area a lot of people say, I want to grow. They go try to grow, but they forget about creating the infrastructure before the growth. So we talk the audience through that process.
I mean, me personally, I've been, before I got into the mortgage business, I worked at technology companies. I love building technology. I also like partnering with great technology. So for us, it's always been a combination. I have full-time programmers on my team, so I'm constantly working with, Byte and with Usherpa, but we also build a ton of technology in-house. So there's, for me, no greater joy, and I actually know this to be true of everyone on this call. There's no greater joy than taking a 20-step process and making it either a one-click button or just completely automated. And the more you can do that, again, the more marketing gets done, and it also gets done for lower cost because things are just happening without having human beings constantly taking time and energy to do those procedures, or it's just not getting done at all, which is truly what happens when it's cumbersome.
Yeah.
So yeah, I personally build technology. I love it, and I like building technology that cooperates and collaborates with the existing technology that we do have. So less redundancy, less data entry. I like all my systems to talk to each other. That's a big thing for me.
Yeah, I
We
can attest.
definitely
I was going to say,
I was gonna say we definitely love that set it and forget it mentality because we know if we want consistency, we have to do it for people. Or if you tell people, hey, when it hits this point, then do this. No, just do it for them. So sorry,
Yep.
Chris, go ahead.
oh no, I was just going to say I can attest to what Dana has built. They taken the Usherpa's API and added some really cool, unique features that are exclusive to loan people. And when Max and Dana kind of reached out with their vision, that was kind of where they were. And it's just really cool to see what they've done.
Yeah. And the landscape for both CRM and LOS are very competitive and have very large logos and players in the industry, but yet Loan People chose Usherpa and Byte. So let's talk about that. Chris, what is the answer to the lenders who ask, why not just go with one of the big guys?
Yeah. Well, I like to say bigger is not always better.
But you
And
did have shirts that says size matter
we
at
did, but
at
it's about the
conference.
we did, and we had a very, very large gentleman joining us, who's actually the husband of one of our employees. But so size does matter because it needs to be the right size for the company. And kind of I think one of the things that we've all seen is as platforms get bigger, complexity goes up, service has a tendency to drop, and then adoption drops because they're just trying to be everything to everyone and adding a lot of bells and whistles. And we all know that loan officers have shiny object syndrome, right? Like what was it, an up squirrel? And we know they're like that. And I think sometimes those bigger systems like to play to that, but it's really not things that the loan officers want and use. So again, I think it's really size matters, meaning it's the right size for the company. And with the smaller platforms like Usherpa and Byte, it's about the relationships. We provide live service. Loan officers get lost. It's easy, and they can call somebody and talk to somebody, and they can call and talk to somebody that knows their name. I mean, Dana and I have conversations all the time. We email. I love it. I've actually worked with Dana her entire career in the mortgage.
Day one.
So I think that's kind of why is I think a system, the personal touch, the service, and not trying to be everything to everyone, and then automation. You kicked it off, Jody. We need to do everything that we can for them because honestly, a loan officer is not going to get into a system every single day. They will in LOS because hopefully they've got new loans every day, but they're not going to go into a CRM every day. But it's what can the CRM be doing for them every single day?
Yeah, absolutely. And to the same question, Bobby,
Mhm.
from the perspective of size matters, what is your take on large uh, LOSs that have a very large market share compared to what Byte offers?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think a lot comes down to kind of like who's driving the bus, right? Like how are decisions made for the company? How is the product priced? How is the product being developed for growth and future and things like that? And who's making those decisions or what influences those decisions? And I think, if you're a large publicly traded company, there's a lot more influences there, right? Than just your customers. Um, and so I think maybe that's the comparison I would talk about would be for Byte. We're privately owned. We can make decisions that we want, and we choose to focus on what's best for our customers, right? So that could be product development. We take a very significant amount of our product development feedback directly from our over 800 clients, right? What's going to move the needle most for them? What are their biggest challenges, and how can we develop to that? Or things like I think Chris touched on it with the support you know, yeah, I'm sure it'd be cheaper if we, had bots or a ticketing system or something like that where you don't get to talk to a live human. But that's a big reason why our customers like Dana, love Byte so much. Yes, the software works great and they love it and it's fast and all those things. But the other part of it's the human component. They can call in, they can get support when they need it. They're going to talk to somebody that knows them, that they know, and also someone that knows Byte inside and out, right? It'd be cheaper to push it offshore maybe, right? But that
Yeah.
again, that's back to that level of service that you can do when you're a smaller privately owned company. So those are probably the things that stand out most to me.
Yeah, and 800 clients, that's not too small of a
No,
company
it's not small,
either.
but I mean, not
Yeah.
not ginormous publicly traded, right? We all wear multiple hats here and you know, we make it work.
Yeah.
What I
And
find
oh, go ahead, Jody.
I was just going to say what I find interesting about Byte is your clients like to keep you a secret. And
Yes.
that is so entertaining to me that, your job is to make your presence known and your clients, they like want to hold you as their own and be like, don't tell anybody what you do. And,
Yeah, I told you that story earlier, and actually it was funny. One of the clients I was talking to is I used to work there, back in my retail days. But yeah, I was getting a testimonial from him, and things, and he's like, kind of felt like I don't really want people to know it's a competitive advantage for them because of what they can do with the software, but also what that does to their P&L. And he's like, no, I let them go spend the money, So, and it's not just about price, but you're right. We are very fortunate, very grateful. We have very happy and loyal clients here.
amazing. Go ahead, Chris.
Oh, I was just going to say what Bobby said about being privately held really resonates because Usherpa is still founder owned. And absolutely, I mean, we can do what our clients want and need, not necessarily what, the PE backers and sometimes, their priorities are not always the same. They're in different
Yeah.
industries and it's not always mortgage specific. So that just really resonates as well. And again, so many mortgage companies are privately held, founder owned, just like LoanPeople. And I just think the synergies there again kind of goes back to that size matters when it's the right size.
Yeah, absolutely. And it does give, it helps of our small and mid-sized lenders be able to compete with larger lenders when they, don't necessarily have the internal resources to be able to manage larger company products. So definitely
Right.
get it. And I love when our preferred partners, like when I try to explain when real collaboration works in our network, is when our preferred partners come together and they solve problems for our lender members. And I think that this is a live case study of that actually happening in the world. And Dana, you have made the choice and you're living with the choice of, Usherpa and Byte every day. If for peers that are evaluating CRMs or LOSs currently, what advice do you have for them?
Um, you know, Prior to Loan People, we were Lehman Team, which was, a $300 million branch, Scotsman Guide, top producing, all of those things. So I have firsthand experience of what it's like to be on the front line. And frankly, Lehman Team is still a massive producer in the industry. And we have 125 employees right now, but like I'm hoping to break a billion in volume this year. So it's not a gazillion people. Efficiency is super important to us, and we really we think in minutes and in seconds, not in hours. And we joke that we tend to break things. Like if we sign on to something, all of a sudden it's just like they get pummeled, and people are like, "Whoa!" I mean, that's kind of how our vendor partners feel about us. Is we onboard, and it's like this is my expectation. We expect things to go quickly, efficiently, and we expect to be able to get someone on the phone, be able to talk to people. Sometimes if we're bringing something up and they say, "We've never heard this before," I'm like, "Here's what we need and why." Over time, people realize like if we're asking for it, this is actually going to make the platform even better. And so for me, it's like I really look for a relationship on the other side. I don't want some place that's too big to where I'm an ant in an ant hill. Like I need people, and so I'm really looking for those relationships, and it really is important for vendors. But I've been with Usherpa for forever. They were actually some of the first people we told we were starting before we even opened our doors. So that was in like 2019. We opened the doors January 2020, so all we know is the craziest parts of the mortgage industry. But just having those relationships, and Max is again top originator forever, and he tested Byte along with every LOS out there, and he specifically chose it because he wanted speed and he wanted something that works 99% of the time without a spinning wheel of death, as we used to joke. He was just really looking for that again, efficiency. We like systems that you can operate really quickly and do at a really high level. And kind of to what Chris said earlier about shiny object syndrome, I'm always looking for a platform that truly I like to have a limited number of platforms that do what they're supposed to do exceptionally well. That's kind of how I evaluate technology and really every aspect of our company looks at it.
Yeah. I cannot imagine Max sitting looking at a computer that is spinning and he's waiting for a decision. I
Not
feel
an impatient
sorry.
person.
I feel
Neither am
sorry.
I.
Like veins are like popping.
Max is about as patient as I am.
Yeah.
Dana, you have taken it a step further and you've connected Usherpa and Byte to your own
Yeah.
proprietary products that you have built and really leverage APIs to create a seamless workflow. Walk us through, and you are being referred to as the GOAT in the chat in case you missed it, but walk us through how those systems actually talk to each other and what it means for your loan officers on their day-to-day work.
I always joke that like Byte is kind of like the loan data Bible. Like that is our system of like this is everything and this is where you need to look for that information. I really look at Usherpa as sort of your ongoing sort of like this is this system of record for our ongoing marketing. And so those are our two. I don't want to have a third system of record. Like those are the two I'm constantly working off of. And I use them across the board. I have APIs to both of those to everything that we do. And it allows me just internally, I'm able to build stuff sort of on the fly, whether it's like listing incentive flyers or our marketing. And really, the more marketing that you're able to offer, the more compliant your whole organization can be, and really the more that they can focus on just building that next relationship. So yeah, I have APIs to both, and all of them talk to each other. And I have different loan officers that like different systems. You know, like some people only want to live in Usherpa. Some people really love to just live in my store. Some people love to just live in our Salesforce environment. But I like all of them to have all the information so we can really accommodate, the bigger teams or the loan officer who doesn't feel overly comfortable with, the highest level of technology. And also, you never know how your loan officers are going to use something until you release it. Like I'll release like listing incentives and then they start using it in a totally different way than I was expecting. And then they're asking for new features. But being able to have those APIs, I can build my own features really, really quickly, but we still always have our one system of reference for that ongoing marketing.
We talked about how intuitive the platform is, both with the integrations with Usherpa and with Byte. And I think that that is definitely a game changer when you're looking to retain loan officers or looking to grow because it removes friction points. And we know that they'll look for a roadblock and then they're singularly focused on what that roadblock is before they can move on to the next thing. And it inhibits their ability to be able to be out making relationships and being continuing to sell. And I think that that's a point we want to make sure that we get across about Usherpa Byte and the way that you've set up your platform is you've removed the friction and loan officers can literally start on a new platform tomorrow and they don't need to sit through an infinite amount of training and they actually can continue to do their jobs without having a gap, whether it's because they have moved over to you or if it's new technology that you're implementing for your existing loan officers.
Just to me.
Chris,
Oh,
you
Chris.
Sherpa, we want to talk a little bit about roadmap and what's in moving forward in 2026. So what's your Sherpa's focus and I can't believe I'm saying this, the remainder of
I
2026?
know, I know. It's hard to
So
believe that we're
fast.
already this far through Q1. Well,
Almost through a
obviously,
quarter.
I
Huh.
know. AI is obviously a hot button, but here at Usherpa, instead of artificial intelligence, we like to call it, and I know you're waiting for it, Jody, authentic intelligence. And I loved the debate that was at the conference and to see how kind of the AI landscape, and we're right there, like, how do we help loan officers do what they do even easier and maximize that human touch? So, we're going to be kind of expanding some of our existing Smart Score and engagement triggers. So, again, just making it easier for loan officers to know who to reach out to when. And then the other thing that we're going to do is, I'm kind of excited about this, is our third quarter is going to be called It's All About You. And obviously, Usherpa starts with a U, but it's not us, it's about our clients. And Dana is going to love this. I'm assuming I'm going to get a very long email from her right
Is
after
this
this.
breaking
But
news? Does she not
Breaking
know
news, breaking
this?
news.
no, no, because
Ooh.
we're just kicking off our Q1 calls with our clients. So our development is always based on the feedback I get from our clients, but our third quarter is going to be exclusively the wants and needs from our existing clients. And not like big functionality. Again, not that shiny object syndrome, but little things like, and Dana asked me the other day, can you please add this field to a contact?
Yes.
And we got it done. little things like that, that when you put them together is going to make a difference for our lean marketing teams and our loan officers. So again, I never build things just to have shiny objects. Our clients are always in mind, but this one is going to be called It's All About You. And it's those little things that my clients want and need. Just maybe, hey, can you change this? Update this grid view. Things like that that I think will really make the platform sing. So I am sure, like I said, I'm going to get an email from Dana any
I'm
minute.
the first one to like bang it and try and break it and be like, okay, can you change this one little thing or can you add this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
So
that's kind of
the,
where we're gonna go.
everyone listening, get your list ready
Yeah.
because
Yep,
when it hits
exactly. Because
Q3, you're going to
BK is
bombard
all
Chris.
about you.
And then Bobby, same for Byte. What are you building towards this year?
Yeah, I think I mentioned earlier, it's an exciting year for us, especially for me in marketing. We have Byte Web. It's out now. It's fully functional now. We demoed it at TMC, so that's our new next gen platform, but also it's fully browser based, fully mobile responsive, and kind of that new base that we can then now build upon everything else in the future. So that's out, very exciting. And then also we have Byte Price, which is our built-in pricing engine. We've been talking about for a little bit, but it's finally out and being beta tested by clients right now. Hopefully we can do live demos for non-clients by the end of Q1. So that's super exciting for us. Going to be a big next step. And then there's two other kind of similarly sized projects in the work. I can't announce yet, but that'll be later this year. And of course, AI, right? Everything's AI, right? So we're constantly looking at AI vendors that we can either integrate with, and again, going back to that kind of client focused conversation we had earlier, you know, we don't want to do it just to add something to say we have AI. It's like what's going to move the needle the most for our clients? What are they looking for? And we're working with them on maybe vendors that they've used or have seen that they think is good, and kind of putting that all together with our client base to figure out which ones to kind of integrate first and how that's going to work out for us, but also still be reasonably priced, right? You don't want to add the automation, but it really doesn't help you because it costs so much, right? Kind of puts you backwards. And we do have some stuff we're building into Byte AI based as well too. I think we had the macro builder was the biggest thing for me that we showed at TMC that I'm super excited about because I don't write code. And so to be able to open up the world of macro automation to our clients, especially those that maybe don't have someone that can write JavaScript, using the AI editor is huge. It's
Yeah.
absolutely huge. So yeah, those are some of the things we got going on.
That's fantastic. We definitely will be looking for those two big announcements that you're leaving us hanging on the
I
edge
know, I know.
with.
It's hard being the
Um,
marketing guy. I can't talk about it yet.
Dana definitely described this group yesterday as fiercely competitive. Loan people from a lender perspective, Usherpa from a CRM perspective, and then Byte from the LOS perspective. But Dana, you get the last word. For a lender who is setting out there right now thinking about how to grow their team sustainably without having to add headcount or burning out the people that currently work for them, what is your advice?
My biggest advice is map out your policies and procedures, but truly like break it down. Like exactly when you are at your most successful on a transaction or post-marketing follow-up, break down exactly what that procedure is, and then look with your vendor partners of how am I going to automate this or build it yourself. I mean, the year ahead for me, there's a lot of things that we were doing sort of after the transaction, and I'm moving all of those procedures to the very front end of the transaction. I am more excited than I've been about something in a really long time, but so much of that is literally breaking down your procedure step by step. If when we are at our best 5 star, we're crushing it. The relationship is a done deal by the end of the transaction. This person's going to send me all their business. Map out what that looks like for you, and then make sure that that is completely streamlined and automate every aspect of it you can.
Yeah. And
Great
that I
advice.
think that that's important because you come from a very different perspective than we often hear people mapping out their process. When we hear people mapping out their process, they're usually talking from the point that the loan hits TRID application and through closing. And in your perspective, that starts at inquiry through the point of sale process and really creating a streamlined customer experience, including both the loan officer and the borrower as the customer. Did I hear someone speak up? All right, must have had feedback. This has been such a great conversation. Dana, the Loan People story is one I think that the
Yeah.
industry needs to hear more of. 30% growth, a curated tech stack, high adoption, and a genuine commitment to the loan officers that you serve. It fits right along with TMC's passion and objectives, and this is a model worth paying attention to. So good luck to you and Max
Yeah.
and the entire team at Loan People. And Chris and Bobby, thank you for being here and for the work that your teams are doing to make tools actually get used. And a huge thank you to Usherpa for making today's episode possible. If you want to learn more about Usherpa or get a demo, please reach out to Chris and the team directly. And for our audience, thank you for tuning in. It's been very active in the chat. So thank you for your participation. We'll be back here next Tuesday at 2 p.m. Eastern time, and we're really excited to be able to continue to move the conversation forward. Until next time, keep sipping. Thank you
All
all.
right. Thanks,
Bye.
Jody.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.
Yeah.